You have seen an AI make a phone call, you have probably seen 50 of them by now, and every single one of them works in demo, and almost none of them work once a real lead start coming in. Here's what actually happens. Someone fills your form, the AI calls, and they don't pick up, which is normal. Most people don't pick up the first time, but that's exactly where every one of these systems stop. Nobody calls back, the lead is gone, and you already paid for that lead. Then one day your server restarts and every lead sitting in the queue just disappears without any error or warning, or the call goes perfectly and nothing gets saved anyway. So a week later you have got no idea what your AI promised that person. And look, none of this is AI's fault. The AI is doing its job just fine. Building a talking head AI is the easiest part now. Anybody can do that in an afternoon. The real problem is there's nothing sitting behind it that remembers anything. Who to call again, when to call them, when to stop. That's what I'm going to show you today. The system that sits behind the AI and actually holds all of this together. The part nobody makes videos about, because that's a part which decides whether you make money or not. So here's how this one's going to go. First 5 minutes, you just watch it run. You don't have to think at all. After that, I'll open every piece and show you exactly what's going on inside. Alright, before I open anything up, let me just show you it working. So I'm gonna play a customer here and I'll fill in this form, and the AI will call me eventually. I'm just gonna put my details. So the workflow just ran, and I'm gonna get a call in a while. I'm not explaining anything yet, just watch it. And this dialer, you can either connect to your Facebook ads, website forms, or anywhere. It will call them right away once someone submits the form. And by the way, this AI particularly built for a real estate agent from Australia, and let's wait for the call. It's gonna call in 2 minutes. A table is set in that manner, like the time gap is like 2 minutes from the submission to the AI dialing that person. Alright, I'm getting a call. I'm gonna pick the dialer's call and talk to it like a customer and see how the conversation goes.
Is this Ankit?
Yes, this is Ankit. What's up?
Hi, Ankit. This is Ashley from Hot Property Group and Manit Estates. I'm calling about your inquiry on realestate.com about our home and land packages in Austral and Leppington. Is now a good time?
Yes, it is a good time.
Is this one to live in or an investment?
It's for live-in, actually.
Got it. Are you after a registered lot, or are you open to land registering in 2026?
Yes, I'm open for land registering. No problem with that.
What budget range has your broker given you?
I didn't have any conversation with the broker yet, so nothing as of now.
No stress. We'll go through options when we meet. Do you prefer a single story or a double story home?
Yeah, I think a single story home would work.
We tailor every package and the inclusions are strong. We've got options well under current pricing in the Southwest. The next step is a quick 30-minute appointment. We can do it at our OSS Truel display office or over Google Meet.
What is this meeting about? Like, what will be discussed over there to get a brief understanding?
We'll discuss suitable home and land options based on your needs, preferred area, and budget. We can also cover lot registration and the next steps. Would you prefer our Austral display office or Google Meet?
Yeah, I think Google Meet should work.
Are you free tomorrow or later in the week?
Yes, I'm free tomorrow.
What time works for you?
Maybe around 10 a.m. in the morning.
Let me check that for you. Done. You're booked for tomorrow at 10 o'clock. It's on its way to your email now.
Sorry, I'm busy around 10 a.m. actually tomorrow. Can we postpone the meeting to around 12 p.m. maybe?
Let me check that for you. No problem. I've moved it to tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
You did? Alright. Yeah, that's it. We can have the conversation around tomorrow, I guess, on a Google Meet.
Perfect. Thanks for your time, Ankit. You'll see the updated details come through by email. Talk soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Ankit. Have a great day.
Yeah, I just booked the meeting and it just appeared on my calendar, as you can see. It booked it, and this is my email and all those stuffs. And also, this stuff will land in my CRM in a while. Yeah, as you can see, call scheduled. The lead status is hot, and the email sequence, pre-nurture sequences are set. That is done, and all the lead status has been tracked over here. He's marked hot, and the whole conversation will also be written over here in the notes section. For example, if I open this what sort of conversation we had, the recording, so that later you can come and check over here. Everything is been recorded, so for future reference you can come here and check it. And even in my Slack I get a message saying that AI booked a caller meeting at 12 p.m. tomorrow for my particular number. This is the whole thing. I just submitted the form which I can connect to a Meta Ads Facebook form or my website form. Eventually whatever details I filled, it will come exactly to this table which records all my leads data. For example, you can see over here, this is my particular data, and it gets fed to the dialer. So this is the first particular workflow. It gets fed over here, the leads data. I'm gonna explain everything in a while, but I'm just showing practically how it works. And after that, AI will call, and eventually there is a workflow to capture everything, what exactly happened, like in the conversation. This particular workflow tracks everything, the call records and everything, and it eventually writes back to my CRM, which is like I'm hosting my CRM in 20. All the details get fed to this particular CRM, so that everything is being tracked in a nice manner. Right? Once the CRM has been updated, the data comes back to the list, and it updates like everything, whether the call happened, what was the outcome of the call. In case if the person didn't pick, the AI will, the list will update the second iteration, in the sense like the first call didn't go up, so it's time to do the second call. So all those stuffs happen. It's all end-to-end connected to one another. So that's how it works. To be honest, there is much more into it. Let's open one workflow at a time, and I'm gonna show you everything. By the way, the templates for all this workflow will be given down below, so you can check the description, and you can download it from there, import it to your N8N instance, and make this work by yourself. And in case if you're a business and if you want to implement these kind of lead gen systems for your business or your company, you can book a call with us. The link is in the description as well for that. So yeah, that's mostly it. I'm gonna show you each and every step so that you understand how this background architecture works. So let's get into it. So there are 5 pieces here, 4 automation plus a CRM. All that matters is that how you interconnect each other and how you sync each other. I'm gonna show you what each piece does because once you see it, you will understand why the cheap version of this doesn't work. You need to have a systematic setup behind for this to work, to capture everything and interconnect everything. Only then it works in the production level. So if you're going and implementing it for a business, it should be a production level system. This stuff works, and we have implemented it in multiple businesses. They are running very fine. The results were amazing with these systems. Let's talk about the first workflow. It's the lead collector. This is the full lead intake workflow. This is the webhook node. Ideally, this is the front door, I can say. And somebody, let's say, fills their form in Facebook, it lands straight here, and that's where all the call happens in under like 2 minutes, right? So everything is captured and moved down the pipeline. And so this one cleans up the phone number. People type their number about 11 different ways, but the dialer only accepts one format. So without this, a chunk of your leads will never get called. So this node is very important. So this is queue lookup. This checks whether the person is already waiting for a call and maybe already on one call. So that also this one is dedupe gate. The same guy doesn't get rung twice, right? So it makes sure that it filters out any such leads. And this table is connected to the table which I showed you earlier, where all of my leads data is being stored, right? And this is the switch node, if else node. If the person ID, if it is present, it means that the lead already exists. It will take this path and it will add that person to the queue, which means that the leads data already exists in my table, right? So if it is not there, it will directly add it to the queue. If the person's ID is present in the table, it will find that leads data in my CRM. Before it creates anything, it will search the CRM by phone, by email. That's what actually stops one customer becoming 2 to 3 separate records, right? You got to make sure that you are keeping your CRM really neat and clean. So that's what this node does. And If the person is present, it will take this particular route. If the person doesn't exist in my CRM, it will ideally create the person and also create an opportunity. So as you can see over here, there are multiple opportunities over here. So this is how it creates ideally, right? I can show you the last execution, how exactly it happened. As you can see, the lead was not present. It took this path and eventually created all the opportunities and every other stuff. So yeah, as you can see, it took this route. It found me, but I was not there in my CRM, my details. It ideally took the false branch and it created my contact. It created an opportunity, and also it will ideally tag me where this person really came from. You can see over here. So this was like a phone call. These are my rest of the leads. Then the lead will eventually be added to a list. I showed you that particular list earlier. This is all about the first workflow. Form submitted, new row in the queue. If the person doesn't exist, it will add him to the CRM, all side by side. Everything will work seamlessly. All right. Next, I'm gonna explain you this particular table. So what is this table? It's a list of who still needs calling, what happened last time, and when to try again later. That's it. List of my leads who opted in. This one just where the lead is right now. For example, you can see the attempts column. This is the first attempt, and when we are allowed to try again, in the sense like if the person doesn't attend the first attempt, automatically his data will be moved to the second attempt and third attempt max, right? And this is my WAPI call ID. So this one's a receipt. When a call finishes, this is how the result finds its way back to the right person. So now this one is separate on purpose. This counts the time our software broke. Sometimes that's not the lead's fault, so it never counts against them. Hold this thought. I will come back to it later, and it's the most important thing in this video. And this is the time zone, and every lead carries their own local time zone, so nobody gets a call at 6 in the morning, right? So you got to maintain that time gap between 9 to 5, the office working hours, to call these people. Now here's the catch. Nobody tells you there is not a single wait top node anywhere in the system. The obvious way to build a retry is to tell the automation, wait for hours, then call again. Like that looks fine, that will work in the demo, but the moment your server restarts or like updates, it is going to crash, right? We have not included any wait node. Everything happens like on a time interval. Everything is being stored in a table, and from there everything, the status will store over there, and based on the status we are taking each and every operation, right? So every single lead sitting inside a wait node will just vanish. If you put a wait node in an A10, you won't be able to retrieve their status. It works really nice. So I can reboot the whole thing halfway through a campaign, and it picks up exactly where it left, which is very important. And trust me, this is the difference between a demo and a working system which works in production. And demo works once while you're watching it, but this is a bulletproof system, and it doesn't matter. Not one lead gets lost in the process, right? So let's go to the second workflow. Something has to read this list to actually make the calls, right? That's next, and it's the piece that will get your number blocked if you get it wrong, which is very important. So let's get to the next thing, which is the dialer, which is our second workflow. This one's job is simple. Check the list every couple of minutes and decide who gets call right now. Every 2 minutes it wakes up and looks at the table. It only picks up people whose time has actually come. The oldest leads get dialed first. Then 2 checks before anything gets dialed. First it looks at the lead's own local time. If it's too early or too late where they are, it waits. And second, it only allows 5 calls per run, and that second one matters more than people think, because if you blast hundreds of calls at once from one number, you will get flagged as spam, right? Eventually you're gonna lose this number and all the process you have to do again, all those sort of stuff. You're gonna be in trouble. So this is slow on purpose. It's not a limitation. One at a time, every lead goes through this loop and eventually get called, right? So this is the place where eventually the calling stuff happens. This is the call actually going out. So let me show the executions, how it happened the last time. This is the call activity going out, and look what goes with it. Their first name, their number, their email, and what are the important stuffs like required, the time zone and all other stuffs eventually goes, right? So that's why AI opens with their name and their actual enquiry. For example, AI knows their email, AI knows their name, which gives that personalization, right? It's actually reading that person's detail from this payload. Then it stamps the call ID into the row. That's the receipt I showed you a minute ago. Without it, the results come back later and has no idea who it belongs. So as you can see, this is the call ID which it marked over here, and this is the error branch. If the call cannot even go out, it ideally tries 3 times, then it pushes the lead back for 30 minutes, and it tells me on Slack that this particular lead cannot be reached. There is some error with the system or whatever, so that I can come and check the system, like what exactly happened. And 5 failures in a row, it stops and asks for a human approval. So that is very important. So that places the call, but the AI still has to hold an actual conversation and get something into calendar without inventing a time that doesn't exist, right? So in real time, it has to check my calendar, because there will be a lot of calls back and forth with my leads, and leads will eventually pick different times. There shouldn't be any conflict, right? If I leave this alone, absolutely AI will pick a time which is already being booked, and there will be a absolute chaos. So let's go to our third workflow, which is our calendar. So this piece is the AI's job description, I can say, and more importantly, the only 4 things it's allowed to actually do. This is how it works. Like you get a webhook details from Vappy Dialer, which is my AI dialer platform, which I use basically to call people, and it's connected to the webhook so that it can check the calendar in real time and eventually create event, reschedule event, cancel event, and also check for availabilities, right? This thing is connected to another workflow. It checks for the events for that particular date and tells the AI dialer that this particular slots are free for this particular day. So eventually, based on that, the dialer will be able to book the meeting, just like you saw how it booked. And that's it. It cannot do anything else other than that. That's on purpose. Each one is just a webhook into N8N. The AI asks, N8N does the work and answers back. That's it. So then if I have to show you the previous logs, as you can see, it checked the availability, and it created an event. It rescheduled an event as well, because earlier I booked the call for one particular time and I asked it to reschedule, right? And that's my workflow 3, which is the calendar checker for the availability. That's the call part. Now the system has to work out what actually happened in it, and if he didn't pick up or software broke, will look identically for the system unless you build a capture system for all of it, right? So we are gonna go to the 4th workflow, which is that particular system. This is the last piece. This listens for how the call went and it writes into the CRM and decides whether to try again. When a call ends, the result get posted here, and in this webhook node. Now I want to make sure only the end call report is being passed to the analyzer, right? That's what this if else node does. And this is the classify call outcome node. Now the phone system doesn't just tell you he didn't pick up. It gives you a reason code, and there are dozens of them, right? Voicemail, busy, decline, silence, timed out, failed to connect, assistant error, all those sort of stuffs. So this node takes every single one of those codes and sorts them into 3 buckets. He picked up, no answer, or something else broke on a site. That's what it ideally does. So now here's the thing, like that result came back from the phone, and it had no idea who this person is, and all of it has is that caller ID. So let me show you the execution which happened lately. It takes the ID, finds the row, and now it knows everything. This was ideally Ankit. This is his record in the CRM. This was his first or second attempt. That's what the receipt was for, right? If the row by any chance has not been found, it will inform me on Slack. So I have put a Slack trigger over here. I will get all the details. In this case, it went through. It had the details. So that's what this if else node does. And this is the switch node I'm using to process the data as per call status, whether call has been answered, no answer, or the call has failed. So that's what it does. So let's go to the first case. If he picked up, the row will be marked as done, person will be marked as called and contacted with the time on it, and it will be recorded in my table, and also it will be updated in my CRM as well. The same thing you can see over here, lead data just being stored over here, and then a note gets written onto the same person. I just showed you the full transcript, the recording link, so you can go and read exactly what your AI said to somebody word for word, right? And attach that note to the same person in my CRM. If this was my business, that's the part I would care about most. And if a meeting got booked, the person goes to call scheduled, mark hot with the date on it. Opportunity will also be created in the next step. It will create a call note. It will attach that note to that particular call ID, the lead ID, and this will create. It will change the status of the lead to call scheduled, and it will ideally create the temperature to hot, and this will eventually create an opportunity for me in the opportunity table. Ideally, it will message me in Slack saying that this dialer had booked the meeting, as you can see over here. So this is the first workflow, and my CRM will take care of the rest of the stuffs like the notification and other stuffs. Most of the time it doesn't pick up. So that's our switch scenario 2. So the retry branch, if it decides whether to try again or stop. This is a compute retry node. This eventually reads the queue row, and it looks at number of attempts. If attempt is already 3, it will return output as true, and it will do the deciding. If not, it works out when to call back. It will give a timing as well. The timing rules are if it is attempt 1 or 2, 4 hours from now. If it is attempt 3, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Never before 8 a.m. or after 8 p.m. in the lead's own time zone, right? So if 4 hour lands after 8 p.m., it rolls to 8 a.m. in the next morning. Time zone comes off the lead's row, not your clock. For example, a lead in California gets call at sensible hour in California. So this if branch checks whether the attempt has been exhausted, which means already 3 calls has been conducted, and it will give output as true or false. True means it will take the top branch and it will stop calling, and if it is false, it will schedule another attempt, which is the bottom branch, and it will update the lead status in my CRM, right? Let's go to the top branch, queue row unreachable. It sets the row to status unreachable. Last outcome, the actual reason WAPI gave, whatever it is, like in this case, customer ended the call. The row is now closed. The dialer will never pick it up again. It will update the person's detail, whatever it is. In my CRM, it updates the person's record. It will set 3 things: lead status, which is contacted in this case, lead's temperature, which is cold, and last contacted at what particular time. So that is the case if someone doesn't pick your call, and also it will update me in Slack saying that the lead dialer is the lead is unreachable. It has exhausted all of its 3 calls. The machine has done what it can, and a human knows about it in Slack. So now the retry branch, this is a requeue next attempt node which updates the data table. It puts the row back in the queue status as queued, and next attempt the exact time compute retry worked out. So like this particular node gives the data over here so that it can update it. Like the next attempt, the dialer needs to try again, and the last outcome, like what happened. This here it will be ideally like the customer didn't pick up or something like that. right? And the tech fails, like ideally 0 because the call went through but the customer didn't pick up. This last line matters. Tech fails counts. Our failures, API errors, providers, fault. So that's mostly it. And our 20 CRM will get updated side by side with this note. The person contact attempted, it will update the person's record, lead status as contacted, and last contacted at now, and no temperature change in this case. The lead is still live. We are just logging that we tried. So nothing else in our tech stack double contacts them before the next attempt. So we are managing it in a nice manner. So now the last note, which is the failure note. This is the one I want you to really notice. When a call fails, it will come through this route, and sometimes it's the phone provider having a bad day, right? But to your system, those two will arrive looking almost same, right? Now think about what happens if you treat them the same way. 3 little outages and you have burned real leads 3 attempts, right? The system marks a genuine hot lead as cold. And here's the worst part, nothing anywhere reports any error, everything says success. That lead just never got a call, right? And you will never find out why. So in this build, a software failure is counted separately. It doesn't count against the person at all, right? It waits 30 minutes and it will retry again. And if it fails 5 times in a row, a human will get told via Slack, right? As you can see over here, this is how it works. That's how a bulletproof system works, right? Everything is mapped out in every step. If something goes wrong, a human in the loop will get informed. So everything I've shown you so far practically is a lead who picked up, right? I didn't show you these particular workflows, like how it works. I told you right at the start, most of the calls will ideally land over here. Only few people will pick up your call in the first attempt. You got to keep trying them like 2 to 3 times, right? So let me show you the other one where a lead doesn't pick up. I'm gonna run the whole workflow again, and this time I'm not going to answer the phone call and let it ring out, and I'm not gonna pick it, and let's see how the system works, right? I'm gonna do 3 rehearsals, like where I'm not gonna pick the call, and I'm gonna show you roughly the system, how it works. So I'm just gonna delete my old details so that I can call my same number again. So I just deleted all that particular detail from everywhere. Now I'm gonna call again and show you exactly how it works. So I'm just gonna fill my detail and wait for the caller to call me, and I'm not gonna pick up this time, right? I guess the lead has been captured in the table and the status is queued for now, right? Once it calls, it will go to in progress. I'm getting a call, as you can see, and the status just changed to in progress. Let's not pick this call and wait. Pick the call. So ideally it should change the attempt to 2 over here, right? So my workflow just triggered, and as you can see, it took this particular path because ideally it queued the person to next attempt. As you can see, Twilio completed the call, but the person didn't pick it. And coming to the second stuff, this is how it went. Like once the attempts has been exhausted, in the sense like 3 attempts has been completed, it took this particular route and marked the customer as the person is not reachable and sent a Slack message, right? And it will try the same way for each and every lead. And that's the part that actually changes everything. The thing keeps going after the first no, right? Now I know what some of you are thinking right now. This thing is going to hammer my leads and maybe embarrass me. That's fair. So let me answer that properly for you. It only calls during the working hours in your customer's local time. It calls a few of your customers at a time, one after another. So your number never gets flagged, right? It also tries 3 times ever, then it stops and hands that lead back to you, and it will mark that particular lead as cold as well in your CRM. And every single word it says is written down, and it is sitting in your CRM. And let me show my WAPI dashboard, like how it is. Just roughly I can show you like how it is connected. This is the particular agent which has been designed to make the calls, and here is the script, and these are the tools tools it has access to, which does most of the job. One more thing that matters more is that the business owns all of this. Your calling account, your CRM, your automations, nothing is rented from an agency dashboard that appears the day you stop paying to that agency, right? That's one more benefit. Anyone from your team can check and answer why didn't this lead get called in about like 2 minutes, right? So in most businesses, that's the question nobody can answer at all. So let me close where I started. The voice agent just talks and books the meeting, but the actual thing matters is the system which is behind it. And look, if you're sitting there wondering where your leads are getting leaking, like why you're not booking the call regularly, you're getting leads but they are not converting. All of this system matters over there. The speed to lead, how you're qualifying them, and how you're trying to book them in the calendar. All those stuff matters. That's exactly what we fix. Link is in the description below. Book a call with us. We will go through your lead flow, find exactly where the problems are there when it comes to lead generation in your business. We will build a complete system around your business. Again, the templates for this particular system is given in the description. You can download it and use it. So yeah, that's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one.